Episode 5 of Gundam The Witch from Mercury gave us a closer look into how writer Ichiro Okuchi handles the show's relationships, as well as confirms existing theories and presents new ones. In this video, we're gonna talk about all of that, starting with Elan Karis. Over the past months, people have been theorizing that Elan Karis is the show's cyber new type character, and, well, yeah, we're right! The episode initially teased a potential romance between Elan and Suletta. And what I find interesting about how the show tackled the relationship was that they sorta tackled the topic of shared trauma. Elan was initially drawn to Suletta because he thought that he had a shared trauma with her, that they could relate because they probably had the same issue. But ultimately, he was wrong, or for now. I've read articles about shared trauma and how it can be a factor of toxic relationships, and it's actually a very interesting topic. It's like thinking a relationship between you and another person can work out because you have the same issues. Shared trauma may initially spark interest between two people, but down the line, it may cause potential harm. It might even make problems worse. Well, according to these articles at least. I'm not gonna go too deep into that topic in this video, but if you want to learn more, you can always check Google. This episode also shows us more evidence that Ghoul does in fact care about Suletta. The difference between Ghoul and Elan is that Ghoul genuinely admires Suletta, while Elan just sees the girl as a tool to satisfy his search for someone similar to him. Also, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, why did they not call Farak out for being a Gundam? Well, I just hope they tackle that in the next episode. Now let's talk about how dynamic the romance is in G-Witch. In terms of romance, I really like how the show keeps changing who you root for. In episode 1, they made you root for Miorine. In episode 3, they made you root for Ghoul. In episodes 2 and 4, they made you root for Elan. And in episode 5, they bring you back to rooting for Ghoul. And it's in a way that it's not obvious who's gonna win in the end. It doesn't feel like a cliche love triangle. It doesn't feel like one of those cliche harems where it's obvious who's gonna win in the end. And yeah, that's one thing I really like about the show's writing. I mean, so far, the only predictable thing about the show is who's gonna win the battles, because, well, the results of the battles in the show kind of have to drive the plot forward, so it's kind of easy to predict. But yeah, that's the only thing that's easy to predict in the show. Everything else feels dynamic, especially the romance. Now let's go back to Ghoul. The episode also sets Ghoul up for potential development we might see him undergo in the future. His duel with Elan marks Ghoul's third straight loss, so his reputation is probably, well, really like down there, and he might actually get kicked out of Jeterk House. So I think it's plausible to predict that he will get kicked out of Jeterk House and probably join Suletta's team. Well, that's just my theory, but you know, anything can happen. Another important thing about this episode is that it introduced some interesting character mysteries. One involving Suletta and another involving her mother. One of Suletta's new Earthian friends performed this fortune-telling ritual on our main character. And this ritual somehow hints that Suletta may have a brother? But at the same time, it might not be a brother. It might be referring to Ariel, or it might even be referring to Elan, as referenced by the fortune teller's follow-up question regarding the person's birthday, which was something that Suletta tried to bring up when she was talking to Elan. So yeah, it might not be a sibling, it could be just someone with a connection to Suletta. Heck, it might even be Shadiq, because Shadiq is just an adopted child. Who knows, maybe Shadiq might be related to Suletta in some way. They do have similar skin color. So yeah, this episode doesn't really confirm that Suletta has a sibling, but I think it's safe to say that it hints there is someone in the show with a connection to Suletta. Next, let's talk about the second mystery person, the one involved with Elnora. This is the woman, aka the other witch, who is working for Pyle Technologies, aka Elan's house. This new character seems to be knowledgeable about Gundams, and is also confirmed to have some sort of past relation with Suletta's mother. I am theorizing this is Wendy, the blonde mechanic we saw in the prologue. Wendy and this new character share the same eye color and, in my opinion, have similar voices. Now, I'm still not sure if they have the same voice actress. I still don't have information about that, but if you do, please let me know in the comments section down below. In the prologue, Wendy was implied to have died, but like, her death wasn't very detailed. There's still a possibility she could have survived that attack from the Burger View, or however that's pronounced. So yeah, it's a very interesting episode, and that's it for the video. I'll see you guys next time. You all have a nice day.